Then October 2018, the gathering of archaeologists in the vestiges of old Pompeii crouched around what had all the earmarks of being a shiny new revelation. Yet what made them so certain? All things considered, this Italian area is known inside expert circles for the numerous special antiquities that it has delivered throughout the long term. However, various specialists have since praised this specific find as being prominently excellent. Archaeologists in Pompeii revealed a secretive, captivated holy place concealed underneath volcanic rubble. But before we get subscribing to our channel is the best way to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest historical journeys content. It's like having a direct line to our channel. Let's get started. Indeed, even before this revelation, however, Pompeii had proactively acquired a standing as an area that illustrates life in old Rome. Throughout the many years, obviously, various relics have been exhumed from the site, also sets of impeccably safeguarded human remaining parts, and cases of spray painting have likewise outlined the regular language once spoken by the city's occupants. Besides, the sheer abundance of disclosures that have emerged from the vestiges of Pompeii have been universally perceived beginning around 1997. As a matter of fact, the region has been assigned as an UNESCO World Legacy Site. The actual site remains extraordinarily famous to drawing in around 2.5 million inquisitive guests yearly. What's more, archaeological works go on at Pompeii in spite of the way that the town was first found a while back. Yet for what reason are experts still so entranced by the area? Well, it just so happens there are many segments of the remains that presently can't seem to be appropriately investigated. This implies that the find declared in October 2018 will probably be not even close to the last. So let's gain proficiency with somewhat more about the dull history of Pompeii. Close to quite a while back, you see the African nation of Old Italy set up 5 villas then. At that point, years and years after the fact, under Greek rule, these singular networks combined to shape a solitary community. The subsequent settlement was ringed by a limestone wall. Nonetheless, the recently shaped town was in this manner shook by struggle in about 424 BC. As a matter of fact, Pompeii and its encompassing regions were taken over by the Samnites. These individuals who hailed from the Italian areas have prepared into Brazzo transformed the settlement, extending its size and forming it with their own engineering. What's more, under a century after the fact, the Romans showed up nearby, introducing their own shows. The Romans' effect would end up being critical on the settlement as well. All things considered, the Samnites took the side of the Roman domain in the latter's battle against the Latins, and Pompeii itself later basically surrendered to Roman impact. In around 290 BCE, this was made authority when the city was assigned a sassy, unlawful partner of Rome. In the main century BCE, Pompeii likewise turned into a genuine state of Rome, known as Colonia Cornelia Veneer. Upon piano from here, the settlement developed into a critical port town, with merchandise showing up from the sea and thusly being sent to Rome, or sent further south. What's more, from 20 BC onwards, Pompeii even started getting fresh water from a water system. However, notwithstanding these mechanical advancements, the town was continually under danger. Pompeii lay under the inauspicious shadow of the volcanic Mount Vesuvius. What's more, it was the main settlement in the district, either as individuals had been attracted to the area, on account of the especially fruitful soils tracked down close to the well of lava. However, at that point in the year 79 promotion, everything went horribly wrong for Mount Vesuvius brutally ejected. Deadly gases, debris, and magma were catapulted high out of sight, probably topping at around 21 vertical miles, and a stunning spike of nuclear power was delivered during the ejection. It was obviously multiple times more grounded than the energy that had come about because of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, Japan, in 1945. Then, at that point, devastatingly, something known as a pyroclastic flood descended from the mountain, clearing out all life that remained in its way. For the people who don't know, a pyroclastic flood is a blend of unimaginably hot rocks and harmful gases that rush out of a fountain of liquid magma directly following an emission. On account of the fiasco at Mount Vesuvius, The flood that went down the mountain evidently promptly killed anybody inside a 6-mile area of it, regardless of whether they had looked for security inside a structure. Furthermore, toward the finish of the flood, Pompeii was totally encompassed in volcanic material after Pompeii had been covered, and presently number of individuals supposedly gotten back to the site, evidently trying to recover anything valuable. In any case, in the hundreds of years that followed, the town was apparently lost in the fogs of time. As a matter of fact, barring a couple of minor revelations that neglected to add up to much, Pompeii really remained somewhat clouded until the mid-18th 100 years. In any case, in 1748, had adventurers at last directed their concentration toward the Campania area where Pompeii is arranged, and in that year uncovered the last settlement. After this underlying rediscovery, more organized examinations continued in somewhat speedy progression. Furthermore, with experts presently working at the site, something wonderful turned out to be progressively clear. The volcanic material that had shrouded the town had really safeguarded it in distinctive detail. Indeed, just shy of 2 centuries after it had last been lived in, the structures of Pompeii are as yet standing, and they are remarkably all around safe for sure. Normal items that standard individuals would have utilized were spread across the town to on roads or in homes, and surprisingly, human remaining parts were found flung across the settlement, fixed in the situations in which individuals who kicked the bucket. So it appears to be that Pompeii had been frozen in time by the emission, giving archaeologists a valuable look into a lost world. Since Pompeii's rediscovery in 1748, then uncovering works have kept on occurring nearby, with disclosures actually being made right up till now. For example, one more significant find was declared in 2018. What's more, this specific disclosure figured out how to earn various specialists' interests. Yet for what reason were archaeologists so entranced by the find? Well, on this event, specialists searching through the remains of Pompeii had uncovered a room containing a hallowed place, and the walls were canvassed in complex, brilliantly shaded compositions that portrayed various creatures and plants. To additionally outline its significance, lead paleologist Massimo Istnik told the New York Times in 2018 that the find was extraordinary. The particular kind of holy place that had been found is called Enchanted. However, this specific one, encompassed by portrayals of Roman divinities, was additionally hiding something different and changed that bore proof of ceremonial way of behaving. Indeed, the archaeologists announced that they had found proof of scorched contributions on the special raised area, apparently put out to assuage the divine beings. The room holding the bookkeeper had a green space and minuscule pool to the site, hasn't been completely investigated either, so more could in any case be revealed. However, while sanctuaries were normal in antiquated Roman homes, this particular room is believed to be exceptional. As a matter of fact, an expert from the College of Notre Dame named Ingrid Roland has recommended that it focuses towards the property holders having been prosperous. It should be concentrated on exhaustively. Furthermore, for certain especially peculiar portrayals stuck upon the sanctuary's walls, some master examination will probably be fundamental. So who can say for sure what the site could in time uncover about antiquated Rome? For example, in one segment of the room, tractors found a portrayal of a couple of snakes. It's been recommended that these animals were going about as safeguards used to safeguard the sanctuary against vindictive apparitions. Different works of art in the room, in the meantime, depict birds, ponies, and some kind of odd being with a people body finished off with a canine's head. However, precisely what this human canine half-breed should address stays indistinct. Roland has proposed that it likely could be a Roman portrayal of an Egyptian god known as Anubis. All things considered, she shared with the New York Times in 2018 that the colleagues, like most Romans, were captivated by Egypt. There are obviously different stories from the period that could likewise make sense of the puzzling canvas's presence. For example, Roland told the New York Times, there are additionally antiquated stories of canine-headed individuals in the East who had fantastic just states and conveyed by yelping. Somewhere else in the room, A part of red wall portrays a hunting situation showing 2 or 3 canines seeking after a dark hog. As per a public statement set up by the archaeological group, this may be illustrative of good winning over terrible habits is normal in Roman building craftsmanships. Certain subtleties in the plans seem to have been incorporated to accomplish optical deceptions for those survey them. For example, a peacock is paying dead onto the wall so as to give the feeling that it's really walking along the genuine ground. It's idea that the trustworthiness of this optical deception would have been additionally established by a bloom situated before the peacock. Energized by the find, as Nick cleared up for the Money Road Diary in 2018. It is whenever that such complicated enrichment first has been found in a space committed to revere inside a house. Obviously, artistic creations have been recently found inside the remnants of Pompeii. However, the earliest of these, alongside different finds, were some of the time unearthed in a more crazy way. Also, this sporadically unpleasant treatment implied that a portion of the pictures disintegrated, so they don't very seem how they would have done when they were first found. You see, prior to being rediscovered, the vestiges of Pompeii weren't passed on open to the components. Following unearthing, however, the town structures and some of their valuable craftsmanships have been presented to terrible climate and light openness. What's more, that is by all accounts not the only danger these invaluable ancient rarities have confronted. Harm and burglary have likewise been accounted for. Antiquarian Henry de Holy Person Clear would expounded on the dangers to Pompeii, his legacy. In a meeting with Logical Magazine Science at Avenor, he told the distribution, the city's second presence started with its continuous rediscovery in the 1800 years. However, right when Pompeii was being rediscovered, it started to kick the bucket at second demise, and to Street Blank would expand it on the way that the site has been disrupted by hoodlums and miscreants following its rediscovery, mockingly remarking what amusing to take away sculptures and hurl around recorded bronze plaques. He likewise placed that Pompeii had along these lines been left defenseless against atmospheric conditions and artificial pollution. The student of history added Pompeii experiences contamination. The most exceedingly terrible types of harm are of human beginning. Be that as it may, the dangers to Pompeii don't just come from people. Wild canines can be tricky during the 1980s. For example, measures were taken to eliminate a few untamed canines that had started congregating in structures situated in the town. Many of the animals were clearly living in the memorable site, and they at last hurt pieces of Pompeii, as well as being unfriendly towards certain guests. The travel industry in Pompeii has been an especially blade that cuts both ways with a large number of individuals going as the year progressed. The site has been harmed by guests, in some cases deliberately. All things considered, it has made some certain difference. All income raised from the travel industry is piped once again into caring for Pompeii, and those looking round the notable town are likewise shown more the difficulties confronting the region. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a thing.